Alright folks, welcome back to another exciting Let's Play with me, Phil Too Really. We're going to be playing Soul Reaver 1 on the Remaster. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the game before we get started. Laying a few of the ground rules about this Let's Play. It's been a very long time since I played Soul Reaver, but this is actually one of my favorite uh, games from the PlayStation. I spent quite a bit of time trying to beat this game in my younger days, but it's a very complicated dark fantasy uh, game, and it's an amazing has amazing voice acting for its time, like way ahead of its time. Um, very very Shakespearean like storytelling in a way, in my opinion. I'm not very much of a Shakespeare kind of person by no means, absolutely not. But I feel like this is very good storytelling, very good voice acting that went along with it, along with the likes of Metal Gear Solid, more so than Metal Gear Solid. I think Metal Gear Solid is like one of the best voice acted games in the PlayStation era, and this is by far the best in my opinion, Soul Reaver. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna follow the protagonist Raziel and his story. The Legacy Kain series is the entire story of Soul Reaver and then Legacy or Blood Omen. Soul Reaver is actually the second game that was released, and well, uh, I didn't haven't played Blood Omen, the original game. Actually, I have it, but I've just never really bothered to play it. I'm not a big fan of that style of video game, but maybe someday I might decide to play it. But I'm going to go ahead and let the game tell its story with Raziel and folks. And also, by the way, if you hit the right analog stick, you can change from old to new, very much like the Halo uh, Anniversary Collection. But anyways, let's get started. Let's go ahead and let the open FMB tell its story.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead.
Cast him in.
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy.
And that is the opening to Soul Reaver 1. Fantastic.
I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are
You
reborn.
are reborn. The birth of one of Cain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Cain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my Soul Reaver, my angel of death.
So yeah, story of Raziel is pretty, as you saw, pretty interesting. And the Elder God, which is this almost this eldritch, Cthulhu-like monster, I guess Elder God in this game, hint hint, is going to be Raziel's Navi of sorts. Navi 1 and Navi 2 exist in this game, but yeah, we're going to be introduced to a lot of stuff in this
These gates
first part.
twist space, laying a path across great spans.
These are basically the teleporters to quick travel throughout Nosgoth, which Nosgoth is the world of Blood Omen and Soul Reaver, and then the Legacy Cain series as a whole. Now, a few ground rules. I'm going to go ahead and state this now. I'm probably not going to 100% this game. If I do, it'll probably be in some bonus parts, just showing like cleanup and all that. The game is really easy because there's really not a game over for the story, because the nature of Raziel in the story of Soul Reaver.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
I will say this: whenever you go and start to play Soul Reaver, over the original Blood Omen game, which again I've never played and finished. Well, I've played Blood Omen, but I've never actually finished it. But I've watched some YouTube channels talk about it. I forget one that I like a lot that has a lot of in-depth lore of Soul Reaver and Legacy Cain as a whole. Some fantasy. Anyways, I forgot where I was going with that. Go figure. One bad hiccup about live commentary.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose.
No.
Take hold of them as you
They're not
will,
ruined,
and they
I
will
can use
carry
them.
you across this chasm.
And as I said, the voice acting of Soul Reaver, this is the original voice actor from Soul Reaver, because Tony J, who voices the Elder God, is no longer with us. Unfortunately, he passed a while back. And his voice is a godsend in the Legacy of Kain
What
series.
scabrous wretches are these?
Slua, the
That's how
scavengers
you
of the
spell that.
underworld.
Slua.
Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall
And they don't look very much different when you look at it from the old version. Just get a little bit more detail in on textures on the Suwa. Oh. And so, of course, here they're going to give us instructions on how to fight. Raziel, like I said, because of the nature of this game, Raziel cannot really get a game over, because when you do die, if you go in the physical realm, which is the world that Raziel's not currently in right now, and you die there, you'll get taken to the spectral world, which is where we are right now. And then if you do die in this world, you're just going to be taken back to the Elder God, and he'll make a mention of that he can't die because he's his angel of death. So you can't get a game over in this game.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Thank you, Mr. Tony J. Elder God. So you hit select or the menu button, whatever it is on your controller, and then you can go ahead and select to go back here. I'm sorry, Tony J.
World. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
Long story short, your life bar will go down to 0. You go back to the spectral realm. And we're still in the tutorial, so we're now in the regular world.
Young yet, Raziel. You still retain
Regular
many
world,
of
the
your
normal world.
vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
In other words, water in the other world is no different than just being outside of the water in the real world. So that's kind of interesting. The spectral realm has its own rules versus the normal world has its own rules. And as the Elder God said, if you submerge Raziel in water, or a vampire for that matter, they will die. Or in Raziel's case, he'll go back into the spectral realm. Spectral realm.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood?
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
Alright, so let's go and kill Raziel's
I knew my
nephews,
opponent's
I guess.
weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
So basically, when you want to kill a vampire, all you gotta do is just attack them until they start to get all staggered, and then you can carry them. You can chuck them into these spikes, which if you do, their souls leave their body and you eat them.
A creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Definitely looks like the body just died, or the soul just left. And of course, let's go ahead and burn this body. And for some reason, if I don't hold the button on my controller down really hard, it will not work. Let's go ahead and burn that fledgling. Devour its soul, the body will go away. In the case of that vampire, well, his soul went into the spectral realm, so...
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew
Thank you,
in
Tony.
life.
Tony J.
Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
But yeah, the vampire's bodies, if you impale them, they won't reanimate. So, they won't reanimate until you remove them from the spike, but in that case, that person right there, not the body on the floor, but the vampire that I just impaled on the wall, Raziel the Impaler, they won't come back. But if they are impaled on a spike that you can remove, they can resurrect. So just note there. And there is an item in that water, but I won't get that right now. I need a additional power to get that, or additional upgrade to Raziel. Let's go ahead and go here.
My God. The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
So yeah, like I said,
This world is wrecked with
the
cataclysms.
voice acting in this game
The
is
earth
superb. Like,
strains to
it's
shrug off the pestilence of
it's
Kain's
nothing like
past in the
Resident Evil
Empire.
voice
The
acting.
fate of this world
It's
was
amazing.
preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the
I want
decay
that.
you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
So as the Elder God explains there, he's explaining a choice that Kain made in the first Blood Omen game, the very first game in the Legacy Kain series. For those who don't know, Blood Omen or Legacy Kain, Kain had a choice at the end of the game to either basically sacrifice himself to restore Nosgoth back to its bountiful, lush self, or choice B, not sacrifice himself, live, and then the world of Nosgoth decides to decay in on itself, and he becomes the ruler of a dying world, aka why serve in heaven when you can rule hell, basically, kind of mentality. And we're just watching as the Elder God said, we're just watching that choice play out. So I'm going to sneak kill this enemy, so you can sneak right behind him, and then just whoop, impale him that way. And any weapons that are on the ground or on the side of the walls, you can pick them up by just walking over and pressing X in my case on the Xbox controller, or square on the PlayStation controller. Let's go ahead and go in this fancy looking door. This will allow us to activate a portal in a quick travel portal that we can use. So you go over here, stand on the little glyph on the floor, it will reactivate. And you just gotta remember what the symbol is on the wall to know where you're going to be traveling. So if you step on it and activate, that's the original room where the Elder God was. So we're not going to go there. So let's go ahead and leave. So let's just go ahead and leave. If you want to go through, you press up to walk through it, and Raziel will go there. So I'm not interested in going back. I'm interested in going forward. But yeah. Some of the music in voice acting, some of the music in Soul Reaver is phenomenal, especially that opening track. I think it's called Ozar Mandius or something like that. It's an amazing track. I'm glad they brought it back in Legacy King Defiance, which is the final game we got in this series. But let's go ahead and see Raziel's old execution place, the Lake of the Damned.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss. My tomb and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Spoiler alert, Raziel, they didn't do very well. So let's go ahead and crouch and jump and use our wings. And the wings can use we can use the glide as at the very beginning of the game explained. So let's keep on going. Let's go ahead and impale. Now these weapons, you can keep on impaling them, and it's rather good. If you use something like fire, like right here, you can. I love this track to death. Thank goodness it started playing. This is the track I'm talking about, Ozar Mandius, or I forget what it's called. I'll let Future Phil write the name of it up here. But it's my favorite track in Soul Reaver 1. aka Raziel's theme. Let's go ahead and take out Duma's children. Let's just light them up. Alright, let's go ahead and light this up one more time. Actually, I want to go ahead and go here and absorb his soul because I don't want him to resurrect. If they're not impaled, they can, their souls can go back in their bodies and they will resurrect, and that's no fun. Raziel's just waving his stick. Okay, so that's done. I want to go ahead and throw that, and I want to get one of these nifty spears that we're going to use. And this right here, I want to move this for later. I'm going to want to get that health power up over there, so let's go ahead and move it. Now, as much as I love Soul Reaver, there is one thing I don't like about it, and it's the over-reliance on block puzzles. This is basically like block puzzle the game. When the game wants to make you solve puzzles, it's normally going to be through blocks about 70% of the time, I feel.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Alright, let's go ahead and activate that door to the right. I'm going to go ahead and leave these people alone for now. Let's go ahead and go this way. And we'll just activate that portal and then we'll go back. And this symbol right there is actually Raziel's symbol that's actually on his little, it was his shoulder cloak, but now it's like kind of like his mask. I forget the technical name. Balaclava, I think that's what it's called, maybe. I want to say it is. But now it's activated. We have that quick travel point. We'll actually be using that to get some items like that health upgrade. Let's go ahead and go back this way. Let's go ahead and take out Nephew 1 and Nephew 2. Alright, he's bleeding. Go ahead and take him out. Absorb soul. Throw it at him and he starts bleeding out. I don't know why it does that. Is it because I turned the camera maybe? Okay, let's go ahead and burn the body. And generally, if you just throw the body in the general direction, Raziel will know what you're trying to aim for, and then it will get the enemy will get thrown in that direction. Let's go ahead and go this way. Oh, he heard me. Let's go ahead and take him out. If you want to throw, or stab, it's the triangle for PlayStation, Y for Xbox controller. Normal attack is square, or X in the case of an Xbox controller. You know what, cuz you know what, nephew, I'm gonna go ahead and just burn you. Burn, and then we're just gonna go ahead and ow. Let's go ahead and just make him start bleeding out. That way I can take the soul. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and absorb soul. There we go. And then let's go ahead and leave. There's really not a point. But I will take this weapon though. This impalement device. And then later on we'll get better means of taking out enemies. It's just this happens to be like the only way. Well, betters kind of, what's the word I want to say? Kind of subjective, because you gotta be at full health to use the other method of killing. Ow, what the heck, dude? Alright. Alright, nephew. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and stab him. Impale him. We're going to absorb his soul. Is munch. Now, what was I going to say? Raziel's stronghold actually leads into the next area of the game we need to go visit, obviously, right? Which is going to be his youngest brother's area, Malkaya. You would think with all of Duma's soldiers here, one of his older, when I say older brothers, even though Raziel is the oldest, no, that's wrong for me to word it that way. The younger brothers right below him, Duma, one of them, I think it's Raziel Terrell, then Duma. Duma's kin is like all up in this place, so you would think that the first brother we gotta take out would be Duma, but it's actually not. It's actually going to be one of Raziel's his youngest brother, Melchiah. So let's go ahead and go here, go up this way, and then we'll be in.
Please.
You're talking without you moving your mouth.
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
I forgot where I was going with that. Anyways, let's go ahead and kill these vampires. These strange looking ones that look like imps of sorts. Let's go ahead and take him out. And then we'll go ahead and take this one out. Every one of Raziel's brothers has a unique power or trait to them. In the case of Duma, they're very big and strong, and these vampires are actually the children of Melchiah, Raziel's youngest brother. And Melchiah is kind of, for lack of better words, because he was the youngest, and for a plot point later in this game, he kind of got screwed. It's in terms of his powers, because his body cannot sustain the flesh, or his soul, which means the flesh will start to rot.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Exactly. Let's go ahead and finish off this vampire. Ow! And honestly, I forget to dodge more times than not. But yeah, Soul Reaver. It's also a platformer of sorts, puzzle, game, action, adventure, that sort of thing. But it's very much a dark fantasy novel in video game form, in my opinion. A wonderful story, though. And it's because you play this game as Raziel, not Cain, which is the original game you play as Cain.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest.
As Raziel's about to
portion
explain
of
about
Cain's
Melchiah.
gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seemed, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
Okay. What was I going to go with? I was interrupted. I interrupted my train of thought, which is horrible. Very much ADD. Sorry, folks. What was I saying? Dark fantasy, and you're seeing the game through Raziel's eyes, not Cain's. Versus in Blood Omen, you saw the world through Cain's eyes. So you get the idea, and the game is portraying Cain to be some evil dictator, horrible father figure for Raziel, which absolutely, I mean, I would get absolutely pissed off if my father threw me into a vortex of water that was going to scorch my skin like acid. But there is a lot behind Cain than is to meet the eye, which is why I love Legacy of Cain. Everything's not black and white as much as a lot of people try to make things black and white. This game is very much not black and white, which is why I like it. Morality in this game is very, very, what's the word I want to say? It's very much based on a very, very big picture. Like, why did Cain do this to Raziel? Cain is very much a chess master, trying to basically alter the story that he was told in Blood Omen. I don't know what I just did there, but I don't care. Let's just go ahead and eat his soul. But yeah, Soul Reaver. Basically, we just gotta go. It's a story of vengeance. Which, are we gonna be able to succeed? I don't know. Let's find out. But we gotta go ahead and take care of Raziel's brothers, and then maybe we can take on Cain. Let's go ahead. Okay, I messed that up. Oh, messed up. Oh, what the? Alright. He's probably getting tired of getting thrown. Let's try this one more time. Alright. Okay, we'll just try another. He's like, please just kill me now. That was horrible, Phil. What were you doing? This poor vampire needs to be put out of its misery. It's like, can you just stab me with the spike that you killed my brother with? Try it one time. There we go. It's going to take his soul. So this vampire, when I take the weapon out from him, he resurrects, as you saw there. So if you leave them staff for too long, you don't eat their soul or absorb their soul, whatever you want to call it, then they will resurrect when you pull the blade out. Now this lovely thing right here, we're going to be coming back to. Notice the icon on it. It looks like the Soul Reaver, which is Cain's weapon. We're going to come back here later.